Hi guys and welcome back. So with fall quickly approaching, I wanted to make a really cute and simple sweater pattern for you. And today we're going to make a really nice drop shoulder sweater. This is really comfortable. You can wear it around the house, you can dress it up a little bit, wear it outside as well. It's a beginner friendly pattern and it's a self-measuring pattern, so you can make it for any size that you like. So let's get started. So for this project, here are all the supplies that I need. I'm going to be using Himalaya Super Soft in this lovely mustard color. So here are the details of the yarn, and if you look at it, this is actually a medium number 4 worsted weight yarn. It's really soft and very nice. It's 200 grams per skein, which is about 359 yards. I have 3 skeins of this. Along with this, I'm going to be using a K crochet hook or a 6.5mm crochet hook. I also have a tape measure, a yarn needle, some stitch markers, and a pair of scissors. So before we get started, I just wanted to explain the pattern to you. We're going to be making 2 pieces, a front piece and the back piece, with a ribbing on the bottom. So to make the ribbing, you're going to measure yourself on the largest part of your hips, divide that by 2, and that is the measurement that you're going to use on both the sides. Then you're going to start creating a pattern upwards till your armpits. It's going to just be a straight pattern, and then we're slightly going to start increasing. And because we'll be increasing and because it's a drop shoulder pattern, we'll only be creating one sleeve. The other sleeve, if you see in the final pattern, will start getting created automatically. After that, we're going to create the second sleeve. So basically it's going to be 3 pieces. You're going to have the front, the back, and one sleeve that will be working in a circle. So I hope this makes it clear about what measurements you need to take. You need to measure yourself across the largest part of your hips, as well as from your hip all the way up to your armpit. These are the 2 measurements you're going to need. So now to get started, we're going to work on the ribbing of one of the sides. So just grab your yarn and create a slip knot. Make a loop with your yarn. With the tail end, make another loop inside of the first one. Pick it up and pull. Now insert your crochet hook and tighten. Now you're going to create a chain of 12. Yarn over, pull through. Once you've created your chain of 12, we're going to skip the first stitch, skip the second stitch, and into this third stitch we're going to create a half double crochet. Yarn over, insert your hook into that third stitch, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3. Now you're going to place 1 half double crochet all the way around until the end of the row for 10 half double crochets for this row. Now once you're done with your first row of half double crochets, this is what it should look like. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and the initial chain 2, which we're not going to count. Now for the next row, you're going to chain 2, turn your work around, and now we're going to create a back post half double crochet. So for that, we're going to look at the half double crochets from the previous row, and if you see there's a space in between them, we're going to go behind the half double crochet and place a half double crochet. I'll show you that again. Yarn over, go behind the half double crochet, pull out from the other end, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. One more time, yarn over, go behind the next half double crochet. So we're going into the space, pulling out from the space. The half double crochet should be in front, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. So this way you're going to place back post half double crochets all the way around until the end, and at the end of this row you should have 10 half double crochets like we did in the previous row. So let me finish this row and show you. So I'm on my last few. Another one right here. And when you come to the end, don't forget the last one. Yarn over, insert your hook at the back, pull up a loop and pull through all 3. So if you see, this gives it a little bit of a ribbed effect, like this. Now if you look at this, this is actually the width of our ribbing. This is how our ribbing is going to look, and now we're creating the length. So depending on what your measurement was initially, you're going to go ahead and prepare a whole row of these. So depending on how long you want it to be, you're going to chain 2 and then turn your work and just place a back post half double crochet until the end. So whatever was your initial measurement of the largest part of your hips, you're going to divide that in half until you reach that measurement. You're going to continue placing 1 back post half double crochet, and then at the end, once you're done with that length, if you feel like you want to give it a little more space or you want it to be a little more of an oversized sweater, I would suggest you add 1 inch. So complete as many rows as you need to create one of the panels, and then meet me back here again. So I just wanted to show you a back post half double crochet slowed down. I've done a yarn over, going behind, pull up a loop, pull through all 3, one more time, go behind, pull up a loop, pull through all 3. So now once you're done, this is what it should look like. If you see, there's a lovely ribbed effect which comes, and this is 1/2 of the bottom. So once you're done, once again measure this, make sure that the length is correct. So as I mentioned before, you're going to measure yourself on the largest portion of your hip, divide that by 2, and if you want, you can add 1 inch on either side. So for example, if your hip all around is a measurement of 40, then this should be 20 inches, and to this then you can add an extra inch just in case you want it to be a little boxier. So now we're going to start building up the body of the sweater. So we've been working this way so far. Now we're going to start working this way. So first we're going to start with a chain 2, and the pattern I'm going to be using for this sweater is a linked double crochet. If you're not comfortable with a linked double crochet, you can just do a double crochet around. It's the same pattern. So now that I've done the chain 2, I'm going to insert my hook into that second chain right here, yarn over and pull through. Now I'm going to go into this first space. So if you see, there are these spaces which are created. We're going to be working into these spaces. Into that first space, I'm going to place a double crochet. Into that same space, I want to place 1 more linked double crochet. So if you see, there's a little bar which is formed over here, right under the stitch. We're going to go into that bar, yarn over, pull through, go into the space, yarn over, pull through. You have 3 on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Into the next space, we're going to place 1 linked double crochet. So go into the bar right here, yarn over, pull through, go into that next space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. I'll show you that one more time. Into the next space, we'll be placing 2 linked double crochets. So if you see, once you're done with the linked double crochets, it doesn't leave any gap in between. It works up pretty fast, but if you see, like double crochets have the spacing in between, this doesn't really have the spacing. So all you need to be mindful of is keep looking at the bar which forms right here, and we're going to be inserting our hook into that bar like this, and then placing a double crochet the usual way that we do. So complete this row. Into the larger chain spaces, you'll be placing 2. Into the smaller ones, you'll be placing 1. So 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, all the way around until the end. Now once you're done with your initial row of linked double crochet, this is what it should look like. So if you see, there's no gap in between, no spacing. Now we can start with the next row, and this is the pattern that you're going to follow all the way around from this point until you reach the point where your armholes start from. So we're going to start with a chain 2, turn our work around, and then go ahead and place a linked double crochet. So let me show you how to start that again. Go into that second chain, so skip the first one of the chain 2 that we just made, skip the first one, go into that second chain of the chain 2, yarn over, pull through. Now go into that first stitch, yarn over, pull through. You have 3 on the hook, pull through 2, pull through 2, and now we're just going to place 1 linked double crochet all the way around. So we're going to go into the next stitch, place a linked double crochet, into the one after that place a linked double crochet, and we're just going to keep following this pattern. So at the start of every row you're going to start with a chain 2, go into that second chain, place a linked double crochet in the first stitch, and then all the way around until the end. So continue this until you reach your armholes or just below your armpits, and then I'll show you the pattern you need to follow after that. So I just wanted to show you the point until which I'm going to be making the repeat rows. So if you see, this is how long it is. So now we're going to proceed with the top part of our sweater, and now we're going to do a repeat row of 3 rows. So I'm going to show you the 3 row repeat, and then we're going to do that throughout. So you're going to start with a chain 2, turn your work around, and then into that very first stitch you're going to place 2 linked double crochets. So here goes my first one, and then my second one into that same stitch. So we've placed an increase in the first stitch. Now you're going to place a linked double crochet all the way around until you reach this very last stitch. And in this last stitch again we're going to place 2 linked double crochets. So come until the end and I'll show you how to complete this row. So now I've reached the last stitch of this row, and into this stitch we're going to place 2 linked double crochets. So here goes the first one, and into that same stitch we're going to place a second one. So now if you look at it, we've increased on both sides, and the rest of it is just 1 linked double crochet till the end. Now for the next 2 rows you're just going to chain 2, turn your work and place 1 linked double crochet all the way around until the end, the way you were doing it before. And this is the pattern that you're going to follow going forward. So you're going to do 1 row of an increase on the first stitch, an increase on the last stitch, and just 1 linked double crochet in the middle, followed by 2 rows of just 1 linked double crochet in the middle. So continue this pattern until you reach the top of the shoulder, so you complete the neckline, and then meet me back here again. So this is what it looks like once you've completed your sweater all the way up to the shoulders. So now I'm done with both my pieces, the front as well as the back, and now we're going to start seaming the sides. So if you see, you have the ribbed edge, you're going to just align the two together and then reach that first row wherein we started increasing. So for me that row starts right here. I'm just going to place a stitch marker on that first row on both the pieces. So here, this is where I started increasing right here, and then do the same thing on the other side as well. So go on to the other side, place your 2 pieces together, see the row wherein you started your increases. So for me that's this row right here, and in the other piece it's this row right here. So now that we have our stitch markers in place, what we have to do is we need to seam the sides until you reach the stitch marker. So if you want, you can leave a little bit of the bottom open. So if you want a little V slit on the side, you can start from above the ribbing and then start doing your seams. So I'm going to show you how to do your seams. To do your seams, make sure that both the sides that you have are on the wrong side. So this is the inside of your work, not the outside. So look through, see whichever side is better, keep that on the inside and keep the other side on the outside. So now once you have your stitch markers in place, make sure that the two sides also align properly, and then we can start with the seaming. So I'm going to start seaming from above the ribbing. I'm not going to close the ribbing, I'm going to keep that open. I'm just inserting my hook through the front and back of both of these loops. I'm going to attach my yarn right here and just pull it through. Now I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to turn my work around, and now going through every one of those stitches, the front and the back, I'm going to keep placing a single crochet. You can do this with slip stitches also, but I feel like with single crochets it holds it a little better. So go through the front and back and make sure you don't skip any of the stitches. Go through every one of those stitches, front and back, and keep placing a single crochet. And this is how you're going to create your seam, and you're going to do this all the way until you reach your first stitch marker. So let me complete this side and I'll show you what it looks like. So I just tried on the piece without finishing the seaming. I've done the side seam, and if you see, there's the V right here which I've left. This is what the armhole looks like on one side. So I've placed one stitch marker on one corner, the other stitch marker on the other corner, and then I wore this and I tried to see how deep I want the drop shoulder to be. So I want my drop shoulder to be till here. So I placed another stitch marker right here. Now for this side, we're going to create a sleeve. And on this side, if you see, the sleeve is already created. So we're just going to create a seam across this end. So now I'll show you how to proceed. So now, as I explained in the previous clip, I've marked out this area which is going to be the sleeve of one of the arms, and now we're just going to create a seam around this area. So we're going to do the exact same thing. You're just going to attach your yarn on the very last stitch over here. So if you want, you can actually remove your stitch marker, go into that stitch right here, attach your yarn, chain 1, turn your work around, and then just go ahead and place a single crochet into the front as well as the back. And you're going to do this all the way until you reach your second stitch marker, which is right here. And then you have the other side over here. So this is going to be your opening for the neck, and you're going to create the seam all the way until this part. So now if you see, I'm still working on the wrong side. I've created the seam of this side. I've created it until that point wherein I put my stitch marker. I have my neckline in the middle, and then I have the other shoulder over here. So now we're going to start creating a sleeve on this side. So now in order to create the sleeve, I first removed the stitch marker on this side. Now we're just going to insert our hook into the front and the back, attach our yarn, chain 1, and then for the first row, all we're going to do is create one single crochet on each of the stitches all the way around. So this is going to be our starting row. So just make sure you spend a little time on this. Make sure you don't miss any stitches in the middle. We're creating this as a foundation so that the rest of the rows of the sleeve become much easier. So we're just going to do one single crochet into each of the stitches of the sleeve all the way around in a circle. Now when I reach the corner over here, I'm just going to go into the other side. So we're just gonna flip this way and then continue placing our single crochets onto the other side. And that's how we're going to be working in a circle. So finish all the way until you reach the top. So now if you see, I've created my row of single crochets all the way around. So now before we start the next row, we're just going to create a slip stitch into that first single crochet right here. Then we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to start with a pattern of a linked double crochet again. So we're following the same pattern as we did for the body of the sweater, so that it looks consistent around the sleeves as well. So I'm going to do a linked double crochet in each of the stitches around the whole circle of the sleeve. So let me finish this row. I'll show you what it looks like, and then I'll show you how to do the repeat rows after this. So now that I finished this row, if you see, the sleeve is beginning to get formed here. So now this is the repetition that we're going to follow for all the other rows going forward for the sleeves, and you can make the sleeves however long you want. So at the end of the row, you're going to go to the top of the chain 2 from the previous row, slip stitch, chain 2, and then just continue doing one linked double crochet all the way around in a circle. So complete as many rows as you want, and I'll also finish the sleeve and show you what it looks like. So here's my sweater complete. I hope you enjoyed this pattern. It's very simple to make. If you have any questions, please feel free to either reach out to me on Instagram, the link is in the description below, or just drop a comment and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. If you liked the video, please share it with all your friends and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, bye bye.